Hey there, everybody. I am Debbie Crowley from ExpressivelyDeb.com, and welcome. Today I have a really cute gatefold pop-up card for you, and it really is pretty. So it's the three cards are all identical. The only difference is the focal point. This is a rectangle, this is an oval, and this is a circle. So you can really do whatever you want when you're recreating this. But I thought that I would show a variety. I'll show you how the inside of the card looks. It's really adorable. So this one is with the Friendly Gnomes Bundle, and I used some Stampin' Blends to give it some color. And I haven't opened these, so my belly band hasn't really worked in yet. But it's a gatefold. And then on the inside of the card, when you open it up, you have this little pop-up in here. And it can stand on a mantle, an end table, countertop. But it really is adorable. And each design is exactly the same. So that's that one. And this is with the Fancy Flora designer series paper and bundle. And again, you have the belly band with a large focal point. I think that's what makes the front of this, you know, having something large on there. And then this opens up like that. So it's really, it looks almost like an M when you open it up, but it really is pretty. So that's that one. And then today, we're going to do this one with the Irresistible Blooms, which is very subtle and soft, and I think this would be a great Mother's Day card. If you have some sort of a Mother's Day sentiment, this would be a beautiful Mother's Day card. So the focal point on this one is the stitched circle, and then it opens up like that. I didn't have to do really much on the inside of this because the designer series paper really is beautiful. It captures it all. So these are the three, and we'll get started. The designer series paper, the Hello Irresistible designer series paper, which I used for this card, calls for petal pink. I used Blushing Bride. So Petal Pink has a bit of a peachy tone to it. The Blushing Bride is a little bit of a cooler pink. And I picked it up in the designer series paper. So I thought it looked pretty, a little bit of a contrast there. So the card base is for a standard card base, top fold, but it's not going to be a top fold. Card base dimensions are 4 1/4 across, 11 inches down. I'll go through the scoring with you so that you can see how it's scored and folded. So the first, we're going to have to open up the paper trimmer, open up the arm of the paper trimmer for this because we have to make a long score line. Okay, there we go. Okay. So your first score line is 2 3/4 inches. The second one is 5 inches. The third one is 6 inches. And the last one is 8 1/4 inches. Okay, so you have 4 score lines on the 4 1/4 by 11 inch card base, scored on the long side. Okay, now to fold this, it's a gatefold. So we're going to fold on the first score line, fold it in toward the center of the card, and of course burnish. The second score line, fold out, back, and burnish. The third score line, fold back, burnish. We get a nice crisp fold. And then the last one, the fourth score line, fold in toward the center and burnish. So in, back, back, in. Or front, back, back, front. Okay, so that's what your card base will look like. I like a matte layer when I'm creating my cards. In the project sheet, the tutorial, you will have all of the dimensions for all of the cutting. I have a whole section in there for the basic white layers to cut. You can just omit that if you don't want to use 1/8 inch layers. I did. So what you'll have to do is cut 4 1/8 inch basic white. I have all of my sheets here. Okay, so here's our card base. So I've cut 4 basic white card layers, and the 4 basic white card layers are 2 5/8 across, 4 1/8 in length. Okay, they're gonna go here, here on the 2 front panels, and then on the inside panels they are going to go on the wider section, which is here and here. Okay, those are your basic white first cuts for basic white layers. The second cuts for the basic white layers are 2 basic white layers that are 2 1/8 by 4 1/8. So 2 1/8 in width, 4 1/8 in length. 2 of them. Each one of those layers go here. Okay. So basically what we're doing is we're lining the entire card base with the basic white layers. The center, this is you have cut 1 basic white layer, 7/8 of an inch, because this is an inch wide, 7/8 of an inch wide, 4 1/8 in length, and that will go right there. So that's how you put all of your layers together on the card. I always try to cut my layers first, and then I assemble the card. And also, it makes it easier for me when I put the layers in the sections that they're supposed to be, so that I can, when I go to put it all together, it's quick. Okay, the next batch of cuts that you have to make are the designer series paper layers. Okay, so now these layers, in the interest of time, I didn't want to keep you watching me glue layers because this card has a lot going on. So I attached all of my basic white layers. Again, you don't have to, but I glued all of mine down. So that's what it looks like when it's glued down. And then the back, it looks like that, but this is that. Okay, so the designer series paper layers, you need 2 that will be on the front panel. They are 2 1/2 inches by 4 inches. 2 1/2 across, 4 inches down. That will go here and here. So we'll get those down. You need 2 more coordinating designer series paper pieces. And these 2 will measure 2 inches by 4 inches. And they go right here on the inside. Pretty, isn't it? I'm not sure which is my favorite. I go back and forth between all of them, to be honest with you. Now, the one last piece, this is for this section, is a 7/8 of an inch by 4 inches. That noise that you hear in the background, the heat just went on. It's a little chilly and damp out there today. So that's it. That's the card. So now we'll work on the belly band. The belly band, I used Blushing Bride cardstock. It is 1¼ inches in width by 11 inches. It's the entire length of an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet. So what we're going to do with this, we're going to come around from the back of the card. I don't usually score my belly bands. You can score on one side if you like to give yourself a guide. I usually don't. I just wrap it around. Kind of. Now, if you see what I'm doing, I've got my card set on my grid, which is straight. I've got the belly band set on my grid, which is kind of straight, but let's straighten that out, okay? And then what I'm going to do is lift the one side and just wrap it, give it a little press, and then lift the other side. Wrap it, give it a little press. So now we see it, we have a little gap there and it's kind of offset. I did that on purpose because I didn't want the gap in the center. You're going to have this little gap, but the focal point is going to cover it. So you're not going to have to worry about that, okay? And just give it a little wrap. The one important thing about a belly band, and I know I've said this before, make sure your edges are straight. Because if this section is straight with this section, when you slide the belly band up and down, it'll slide nicely. You do have to work, you know, the paper fibers a little bit to slide it in place, but to slide it up and down rather. But you'll see how if it was crooked, it would be more difficult. And I'm using a little bit of seal, if I could get my seal going here, for this, only because I wanted it to be quick for the purposes of the video, and it doesn't look like it's that quick. Okay, now I'm going to put my belly band on, my focal point, and I'm just centering it, making sure I have the same distance from here to here and here to here. Okay, and that's it. So you notice too, also, I put the glue on the belly band directly because I didn't want to make a mistake and put glue somewhere where it was going to adhere to the card front, the focal point or the belly band. So there's my belly band, okay? And now I put it back on the card to put the elements on it. We'll do that. As you move the belly band up and down, it will break down some of the fibers on the side of the inside of the paper, and your belly band will be a little bit looser. Okay, so let's give this a try on the belly band. I should have, let's see, what's this one? Wishes for a Beautiful Birthday. That's the inside. This is the smaller side. Okay, so I'm using Blushing Bride ink. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this a little bit to me, kind of bring it as close into the edge as I can. Okay, and just give it some pressure. And that's it. Came out good. Stuck to the, there we go. Come on. Okay. I'm just putting one in the center because I'm going to do a little tucking underneath. So this, I think I'm going to put here. And then I have leaves that I die cut. And maybe tuck it there. And that's it. So the belly band is finished. Now we're going to work on the circle for the inside. And I'm going to stamp this before I attach it. So we have the circle. This, the large circle was, I wrote it down so that I can tell you. I believe it was a 3-inch circle, the large one that I used on the outside. I used the stitch circle size. And then on the second circle for the inside is the smaller circle. And I believe that one was 2.5 inches in diameter. The larger one, 3 inches in diameter, and the small one, 2.5 inches in diameter. So if you don't have a circle die, if you have a punch, you can do that. Okay, now we're going to use the larger sentiment, which fits right on here. So, same thing, Blushing Bright ink. Tap, tap, tap. And I have my Stampin' Pierce mat, and I'm just going to pull it a little toward me and lean over it a little bit. Right here on the center. Okay, in the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a little bit of glue down the center of the circle. Or you can use a line of seal, Stampin' Seal, if you'd like. And then just center that here. Same distance from the top of the card base to the top of the circle. And same distance from the bottom of the card base to the bottom of the circle. And it'll be nice and centered for you. Just make sure your sentiment is straight, right, Deb? We want to make sure the sentiment is straight. There we go. There we go. Okay. And that's it. I think I'm going to omit the leaves on this one because it'll be too much. And we'll put them down here. I was going to stamp a flower here, but we'll put the leaf here. Or you can die cut a flower if you'd like. Now, a little bit of a hint. I can put this one here, which is fine. But you can use this side for a gift card holder if you'd like. You can do a little belly band around the gift card with some glue dots and let your gift card just one glue dot lay nicely on there, and they'll be able to peel off the glue dot and take the gift card out. But you can do that if you'd like. I'm decorating this, and then you can use this side as your writing layer. That's it. We are finished. So a nice, really pretty card, and I love the paper and the florals and the softness about it. This would be a beautiful Mother's Day design. So here you have the one we did today. There's the fancy Flora. I don't know which one. I don't know. This is pretty. I think it's the colors, the bright colors. But this is Orchid Oasis that I used for my base color on this one. But I used the Daffodil Delight Sweet Sorbet and Balmy Blue on this. And I'll tell you what a pretty combination it is for a nice birthday card. So there you have it. You will have all of the dimensions on the project sheet. It'll be attached in the description box below this video. Everything should be up on my blog. I'm hoping for tomorrow. So I wish you all a great rest of day. And remember to always express your creativity. And the only limitation is your imagination. Thanks for stopping by.